actually teach as well as learn from you all basic concept about why lifestyle is important and why we have problem dealing with lifestyle change. It is simple because myself, I went through this 5 years ago, and I basically want to teach everybody my experience, what I went through. I was with like everybody else, trying to keep up with the stress of daily work between my professional life as well as all personal matters. And we are in this cycle, but we don't pay attention to ourselves. So I want to get your attention for a few minutes to think about one thing. What will happen if our health is getting worse or is worsened and we suffer from a lot of health problems? Who will be suffering? Us. If we improve it, who will get benefit? Us. So let's take that journey with me 5 years back when I used to be 100 pounds overweight and I worked with my lifestyle. So for me, this was eye opening, and I would like to share that with everybody. People think it is very hard, but actually it is very simple. Most of answers lies within us if we never pay attention. So just for a change, just think of there is brain in we have in the skull. It has hunger center, appetite center, and our body has so many neurons in the gut, and it is lining. And there are two brains, I would say, one brain up here and the other brain is the gut brain. So I'm sure a lot of people thought that when we are looking at the food, the body already prepares to digest it, and we start feeling that we have to eat and keep eating. Now there lies a problem. So it's not problem with certain diet, it is problem with thinking. So if you are going to take a break and think of one reason that you have to really finish all your food in one setting, that's where the problem is. So try to cut that down. All we have to do is control a little bit. Stop before you start throwing up or you are filled up to here. Why it's important? Because many reasons, like I said, there are neurons in the stomach too, and they give signal to the brain that we have stopped or we are full. But you can also give that signal to yourself and say, no, I'm done with eating. So eat and drink water, but do not fill your stomach with all food. Very basic concept. Practice that, and I will go a little bit more deeper on that. The other thing is sleep. Sleep is keystone of our life. It is very important to understand that. Imagine when we don't sleep well, guess what will happen? We'll be very sleepy next day, whether it's a quality issue or quantity issue. It is very, very important to understand that because it's going to impact our appetite, and we'll be carb craving and we'll be looking for sweets, and carbs tend to be stimulating to brain. So as a result, we keep on stimulating lot to get more activity. As a result, we are gaining weight. This cycle goes back and forth. Lack of good quality of sleep and also quantity, very important, is going to matter because it is going to control your appetite, your behavior, and not to mention, if we don't have energy, then how can we exercise? So, what are the keys to better lifestyle? Diet, waking up on time, and sleeping enough hours, making a discipline. I always tell everybody, look at the birds. They don't are not on medication for sleep. If you try to feed them in the evening, they don't want to eat more. They are very well regulated. So all comes down to a little bit regulation, and of course go out, enjoy, walk, do anything, but get that positive energy. Take care. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. And today we are honored with again our great author Nicole with us. How are you, Nicole?
I'm wonderful. Happy Valentine's Day. How are you?
Happy Valentine Day. I was on this day, I was thinking about your book because it is such a nice romantic story. And I thought, what a best way to celebrate Valentine's Day is messages to chat with you and kind of get you more insight to your book, and let's have people read more of your book.
I would always love more people to read my book and the books to follow as well. Do love to
Yeah.
write about romance. Um, it's a subject that I enjoy reading, and I think the way that I depict romance in my writing is enjoyable to others. So far I've heard.
Yeah, I was thinking of the same thing. I said sometimes, when how it is narrated and how it's depicted really resonates because the stories are not new, of course. Love, romance is kind of universal language, always will be there. But how we narrate and how we
Mhm.
say it, and how people understand, that's going to make a big difference, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Um,
tell me your any thoughts on Valentine's Day. What did you, how did you celebrate your Valentine?
I've received a bunch of really lovely, heartwarming messages from friends across the country, um, and I've sent out a few myself. I honestly, I was so embroiled in work today that I forgot all about it until I started getting pings on my phone. Um, it's a pandemic and I'm single, so it's not like I'm out there making romance happen for myself at the moment, other than on the pages. So I've been putting together a follow up to the the current book that's out right now. Something that can be out in the next 2 weeks. It's a journal. It's a travel journal with the same motif and cover as the book, but it also has bonus deleted scenes,
Oh,
and they're fun and they're saucy and they got cut from the book, but they stand alone very well. So I thought I'd give them their day to shine and also get a fun Vegas travel journal for cookie people like me who like to do stuff like that. So
so you
it's
said,
basically,
so you're saying it has deleted scenes?
yeah, I put in the deleted scenes, and I also um, every few pages have a scene from the Vegas
Wow.
scenario in the book, and then I pose a writing prompt based on, like, what was your game in Vegas? Did you meet anybody interesting? Did you go out with your friends? Where did you go? What was your funniest experience?
Hmm.
Basically, so people can recall their visit and their trip, and have fun journaling about it.
Hmm. And so, also, I've been to Vegas many times, but I always kind of wanted to know what people usually do. They just spend most of time in those slot machines, or do they really go out?
There's so many different kinds of Vegas people. There's the slot machine people. There, like me, I like to go see a show. I like to eat out at top chef restaurants. I like to gamble. I like to visit with friends. I like to meet new people. I like to go
Mhm.
dancing. So
Oh,
like
wow.
I like to go to museums. yeah, I like to go to the aquarium. I like all of Vegas, all of it. So I get a little bit of it, everything
Mhm.
when I go. I make sure I jump off the stratosphere for a little thrill seeking and adrenaline. It always gives me a charge for the weekend. So that's the first thing I do when I go there. And then hit the room, get changed, meet the girls out for cocktails, and off to a show we go. And then wine and then dinner, and then gambling until we're exhausted, and then wake up and do it all over again. But there's also people that go out just to play the slots. There's people that go out just to golf. There's people that go out just to see a concert. There's, people who want to sit in a spa all day. There's all kinds of Vegas people out there.
So it's
I
not
love them all.
unlimited. Yeah. So it's good to actually try a different variety. What I liked the most was, of course, I liked the musical. I think at that time the musical was being played by what's her name, female singer. She has, song "Heart Goes On." I forgot her name.
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
She
Yeah,
was at
Celine Dion.
the yeah. She was at Caesars for a while,
Yes, she was
and
at that.
yeah, she was at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm a big fan of her. So I want to catch her shows, and then um, for me, I'm not a slot person. I think it's useless. So, but I like the ice cream. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Caesar. I think there was a place there. They had the ice cream. They make this, put a lot of fruits in it, and I loved it. How the ice cream was. So I know if after that I came here and I tried to find, I couldn't find them. Then the nearest is probably Cold Stone, but I don't know if you ever had Cold Stone ice cream. But Vegas ice cream was stuck in with me. I mean, restaurants are great. I think I
That's what
enjoy
stuck with
more.
you from Caesar's Palace.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
funny.
yeah, I know.
I
That's the
mean,
only.
you walk into Caesar's Palace and there's Roman figures walking around with men walking around with skirts on, barely big enough to cover themselves, and there's a statue of David that's you know
Yeah,
100 feet
but
high, and there's Cleopatra
the only
goes
thing
by.
I have then I think I went to but I really liked I mean you could the advantage is you could go out late night and you could go
Mm.
between all the
I've
different areas, so that was nice. It was like reminded me of New York. New York, you can go
I
even
love New
middle of
York.
night. Yeah, I know. So you can go in middle of night, and then you can just go to, Broadway or whatever. But shows, I
Mm.
think musical. I love musicals, so I think music is great. But the other thing I like most was, I know rest of the Vegas is like just a district, which is really nice. But beyond that, there's not much, right?
My best friend
Once,
lives out there, and he's looking to. There's good real estate going on out there right now. The bubble I hear is about to burst, and he's about ready to buy, and I'm excited for him. I know a lot of people who've picked up real estate out there. I'm out in Southern California. The real estate out here is crazy. It's so expensive. So a lot of people that I know are moving out to Las Vegas to,
Mhm,
work and and buy property.
mhm,
Which is once I start traveling again, which is great because I'll be able to see my friends more often. I do tend to go to Vegas at least once a year. When I was younger, I used to go a lot. It's only a 4.5 hour drive from San Diego, and an hour
oh,
plane ride. So it's very accessible to get there. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. You're there in a couple of hours. So it and it's not expensive to get there. And if you know what you're doing, you can figure out a way to stay there without breaking the bank. If that's you just want to get away for the weekend.
mm. And I think the other time we did was MGM golf. We played 3 days golf, 18 holes, and it was crazy, crazy, crazy. I've never,
Hot?
I would never go
Was
again.
it hot?
Yeah, I mean, Oh yeah, it's not only hot, but like just 3 days, just golf. Oh, I can't imagine. But they said Tiger Woods used to come there like that, and he would have all kind of non-golf activities. So the caddy would give all kind of details about that. It's funny. It's funny. I know how true is that. People make up stories, so I don't know. So, but
I
golf was.
maybe I'll write a book. Maybe I'll write a book just solely based on all of my Vegas experiences. I've had
Yeah,
some crazy
that would be.
ones.
So that's what I'm saying.
It,
Vegas is by itself you can write a lot about because there's so many activities and they're different.
mhm.
People who golf there, they just don't have any idea about rest of the golf. So whoever was in the group, 72 of us, and that they were all golfers. Unbelievable, unbelievable, crazy, crazy, crazy. I can't believe that the only thing was golf. 3 days, 3 days, nothing else. So,
That sounds
since
awful.
yeah, but that was my first and last trip for golf. I
Sounds
will
just
never.
oh, it sounds awful.
Oh yeah, I
I
know.
like to I've gone to Vegas by myself on several occasions. I've gone out there for a wedding or something and just gone out alone, and of course my friends are there and meet up with people, but a lot of times we're staying at different hotels all over the place, and sometimes you're just left to your own devices, and the people I've met and the experiences I've had have been amazing. And I miss
Mhm.
it. I wish we could travel again and but
Yeah.
soon. I could really use a weekend away.
Well, I
I think we
think
all could, right?
once you all get vaccinated, probably things will go down in terms of
I can't
numbers.
wait.
So
Mhm.
so I hope people get this curve down first, and then get immunized, and then hopefully we'll all be able to enjoy, things we used
Yeah.
to do so much. So tell me, so far what has happened since we discussed last time your book. I know you said you're gonna bring to part two or extended version with a lot of deleted scenes and is bonus tracks or bonus pages or bonus chapters in it, right?
There's just a deleted scene. It's a very long one. And it
Mm,
slowed the progress of the book, but it was a very good standalone scene, and it's very saucy, and it's very funny, and um, I just felt so bad leaving it out of the book, but it just worked better without it. So I decided to um, do the Vegas Travel Journal, and and it's the same cover. It has the same cover as Sophia Madison in The Voice Within. This blue cover back here
mm,
that says "Welcome to Las Vegas" on it, and um, the bonus for the travel journal, is that there's a deleted scene in there, and I think it people will really like it. It's a lot of fun. It's called Girls Night Out, an evening with the thunder from down under. So
oh
happy
my god.
Valentine's Day, ladies.
Oh wow, wow.
That's
So
coming your way.
we got the inner scoop. You have to see watch it or imagine it. It's down under. So that is really nice. Oh wow, unbelievable. So what was the logic or thinking behind leaving it first time? Nicole, can you hear us?
It just slowed down. Yeah, yeah, you're frozen,
Oh,
but I can
sorry.
hear you. Um,
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, the the reason I left it out is because it slowed the plot down, and
No.
it was in the very beginning of the book, and it just it prevented the reader from getting to the inciting incident in a proper timely manner, so I took it out. I just plucked it out, and I said, maybe I'll put this in the back of the book because it's so much fun, and that's an idea. I might just do that, actually. um Thank you. Maybe I'll just do that.
What idea for putting about Vegas or why the scene was deleted? Nicole, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You said idea about what about the scene being deleted or about.
You know what? You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said you were telling about you got the idea about it.
I was thinking maybe I'll just put. I can still. I can always because I'm an independent published book.
Uh-huh.
I can always add it to the back of the book as a like an epilogue or something. Um,
Oh, that's nice. That's yeah.
that
That'd
would
be
be
great.
fun for the readers.
Yeah, that would be
But
fun. And
I'd rather tease them. I'd rather tease them with the journal.
that's true. That's true. That's always good. So tell us anything which you did not publish or is not in deleted scene, but now it comes to your mind. Some of those, maybe some which you can share. Any memories?
That's. I don't understand your question. Sorry.
I said you had some.
It's still cutting out a little
y-
bit. So
Yeah. No, I said you said you had some of the deleted scenes, and then of course rest you have mentioned. But are there any scenes or thoughts you have now, which you think we can, audience can get scoop of?
there's one more scene that actually didn't get written, and I completely it just didn't fit either, and it was just an idea for a scene from an experience that really happened. And there were restaurants in Las Vegas owned by Hubert Keller, and one of them was called Floor. The other one was Burger Bar, and they he decided not to reopen them, sadly, after the pandemic. I think he's going on another journey in his life.
Hmm.
Uh-oh, we have bark dogs over here. Hey, stop it.
Mhm.
We're going to have to edit that out.
That's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Stop.
That's a small thing. That's
Anyway, as I was saying about Hubert Keller, he's on his probably on a new journey. And I'm a huge fan of his. I used to watch him on the Top Chef shows as a judge, and I'm close with the artist who provides some of the art that hangs in his restaurants. And so it's always just such an experience for me. I get the food, I get the wine, I get the art, and I've always had these fantastic experiences, just so memorable, just glittering memories. And there was an item on the menu called the $5,000 burger.
oh yeah. I want to
And
hear.
yeah, the $5,000 burger comes with it's a burger with foie gras and gold leaf and truffle and you name it, it's got it on there. And let me tell you, we ordered it and it was delicious. And it
Wow.
comes with a bottle of wine that's I think it's called Petrus. I don't know how to say it. The bottle of wine is actually the major money that's why it cost you $5,000. But to order the burger was like $75. It was pricey for a burger, but it gave you a bit for your buck anyway. And it was just it was decadent and luxurious, and if you ever said that about a burger before, you're crazy. So we did order it that one time, and it was amazing, and I didn't end up getting to write about it, and I do like to describe some of the places I go to and dine, and they show up in my writing in these amazing experiences I have. And that's one I think I can still put together and maybe put in the journal as a deleted scene or a forgotten scene.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would be fun.
Yeah, that is I mean, I find it very interesting, especially knowing it's $5,000. Oh my God. But $75 is pretty high price. Is beyond the McDonald's or so any food chain, fast food
It was
budget.
it was an experience. It was an experience, and it was worth it. It was really great.
Okay. So,
So
and
sometimes you just have to splurge.
I agree with. So, but it is funny. You were saying that all I remember about Caesars was ice cream, and you remember about how they were dressed. That was funny.
And
See, that's a different.
I
That's
like
a different.
Caesars because I like, yeah, a
Yeah,
different take on it, right?
yeah, yeah.
I like to go see Rod. I like to go see Rod Stewart at the
Oh, yeah.
Coliseum.
That's my
He's
favorite.
had a show running there, and
Oh,
he's my favorite entertainer. I love him.
oh
I
my
love
God.
him.
Yeah,
I've
he's.
met him. I love him. He's a cool cat, and um, uh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Meeting always
His music.
stuck with me. I met him when I was in my 20s,
Oh my God,
but
I can't
I've
believe it.
loved him since I was a little kid, like 8 years old. I loved him so.
Wow.
I never miss him when he comes to San Diego, and it's a quick trip out to Vegas if he's got a show going, and it's worth it. He does such a great job. He hasn't missed a step. He's still rocking and rolling. So
Oh,
I can't wait
he
to
looks
see him
amazing.
again too.
He looks
Hmm?
amazing. Yeah, yeah. I say he still looks amazing.
He does. He looks. Well,
Yeah.
he's an athlete, so he's kept up with his soccer, and he plays well. Information I know from many moons ago, he played on a private team,
Hmm.
and so like in this league, and they would play other teams, and that's how I met him. One of my employers ran the private soccer field that he was using to play this game, and it was very exclusive. There weren't a lot of like bystanders or people. It was just these guys playing this game, and it was I got to watch Rod Stewart play soccer right in front of me. Boom, and then he came over and
Wow.
said hi, and we all got invited down to Croce's for dinner.
Wow.
Um, and they wouldn't let us. It's like we got invited by his crew, and they wouldn't let us in like we were groupies. And I texted the guy that was in there I was supposed to meet, and I said, meet us over at the Martini Lounge. Boy, I'm dating myself. In San Diego, we had a place called the Martini Lounge downtown. It was a lot of fun, and we all ended up dancing all night long. Rod Stewart went home with his beautiful wife, and the rest of us, all the soccer players and engineers and everybody who was there, having dinner with him, met us at the Martini Ranch, and we had a great time partying with the Rod Stewart crew. It was really fun.
Wow. I mean, Rod Stewart is amazing. I think it's all the songs I can remember. I've been also listening for him long time. I think he's one of the first few, beside Brian Adams, Scorpions, which I started listening to music actually. Um, and of course, Tina Turner, for all-time favorite. But these are the British singers, and they were really amazing. Both Tina Turner and I think. So, which one is your favorite of Rod Stewart?
Right now, oh my God. I have so many, but right now, for some reason, Some Guys Have All the Luck is in
Forever
my
Young.
head.
Forever Young.
And what?
Forever
Forever
Young.
Young's a good one too. I love that one. Infatuation's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Mine was Forever Young, and then
Or Do
this
You Think
Old
I'm Sexy? Don't get
Heart.
me started.
Oh, what did you say? You didn't see that?
I said, or Do You Think I'm Sexy? That was my favorite when I was a kid, and I got
Yeah,
in big
yeah.
trouble
Oh,
singing that
oh,
singing that
oh
into a
yeah.
hairbrush when I was 7. Not exactly
Oh, now
appropriate.
you can sing it loud. That's fine. I said now you can sing it. Nobody will say anything to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think, but his voice quality, I love how he sings. It's just amazing, and that all his songs were amazing. And well, it was nice talking to you. I think you should really write a book about Vegas. I mean, you have such a vocabulary and
Well,
encyclopedia.
I already have.
So
An encyclopedia of experiences with no chronological order or sense, just one crazy Vegas experience after another. That would be fun. I'm getting so much older, but they're all still in there.
yeah, so secrets to successful Vegas. Don't just eat ice cream and don't just play golf if you were watching my show then, but if you're watching
You
Nicole's,
blew it.
then you have a life and you really enjoy Vegas. Okay. So it's always pleasure talking to you, Nicole. You take care and good luck on your book. Check her website, and she is going to definitely give an update about all the deleted scene and so forth. So check her book out
Here
again,
it
and
is.
Sophia
Welcome to
Madison.
Las Vegas.
Yes, she will be
Sophia
soon.
Madison
I
and the
can.
Voice Within.
One day she'll be mayor of Las Vegas. I can tell you. You will be mayor of Las Vegas one day, right? Okay. Okay,
Oh, I
Nicole.
want that job.
Thank you for coming to our show. Take care. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Okay, you too.
Take
Dog barking.
care. Okay.
Stop.
Good morning.
Thank you,
everyone.
Dr. Moby, for being my VIP or VIG, very important guest for
Oh,
this Valentine Day special. And without further ado, I like to tell the listeners and the viewers, you're tuning in to Dr. Moby and Vicky. I've got a few questions for Dr. Moby, and then your analysis of a case study. Tapping onto you and your long-term relationship. Um, Firstly, of course, I'd like you to tell us, do you have a message for us on Valentine's Day? I would like you to focus today on mature, seasoned relationships. And one of the questions are, how do we revive old, tired relationships? What are your top 3 tips to keep a seasoned relationship alive? And for the generation of the 90-day fiance, do you think it works? Or how can we make it work in a world like so fast paced? We don't have time to meet people. We only have got like a window period of 90 days. How can we make that work? And also long distance relationship. Is it something that is set up to fail? So with these few questions, I'd like to give the floor to Dr. Moby for the next 30 minutes. It's such a pleasure to have him. He's such a big celebrity. I'm kind of jittery and nervous to have him on. Because it's so seasoned. I'm such a novice in this industry. So, Dr. Moby, do you have the message for us today before we go into the questions?
Oh, thank you for asking all those questions, and thank you, Vicky. Vicky is always such energetic and full of life, and if you watch her episode, she gets us going, and makes us all. We can all feel in her energy, and
Thank you.
we pray that she keeps on doing this great, amazing work. And you are so much. You got so much love and respect from all of us. So keep up the good work. So I will always say that.
Thank you. From Singapore. From Singapore.
for Singapore, for all over the world. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine you are in Singapore, I'm in US, and then look at we are connecting, and so it is a blessing that we could do that, right? So, and not only that, but also kind of make good changes to everybody's life. I mean, your show is talk about life. You talk about so many things. You talk about
Yeah.
faith. You talk about it's such amazing job you're doing. So keep it up, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, Dr. Moby.
Regarding your
Learning along
question,
the way. What's your
yeah.
message for us today for Valentine's Day?
The message of Valentine Day is always going to be love and honesty, because, those are the biggest things we all need. Imagine, any relationship, whether being husband, wife, whether being lover, or whether being friend, has to rely on honesty. So if you're not honest about your relationship, it's a sadness is that those time can change, but the principles never change. Life is actually built on very simple principle of love, trust, and honesty, respect for each other, and those are never going to be out of fashion. They no matter what happens, it will be 2050 or 2070, but if those, we cannot get rid of those. So that is very important. It's like I think a lot of faith and religion are also based on love, respect, and honesty, and taking care of each other in in need of and basically those principles are never going to change for no one, right?
Yeah.
So
The
imagine,
basic principle.
imagine it'll be, and we can have all kind of with technology we'll see more robots and everything. I'm sure it won't be far away when people will have pets, robots, right? So
Yeah.
they will follow, but they cannot give you love. I mean, they can follow
Yeah.
your commands, and but they cannot give us love. So love is something which we humans or animals can show. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dr. Moby, Valentine's Day in Singapore, some people extend it just love in general, not just romantic love between man and a woman. Nowadays it's with the same gender. Expressing love is so important, and I just want to share with you a little bit. To also share this message of love that you're talking about in this very special day for Valentine's Day. In Singapore, Valentine's Day, there people are celebrating it between mother and daughter, parents and child, just in a very general way, not in a romantic kind of way. So this is somehow we kind of take it to another level. And I remember, in a very Asian society like we are in Singapore, in the Asian context, love is a hard word to say. It's very hard for us to actually express, to say the three words like "I love you."
yeah.
And when it comes to even like a Western educated, like people like our generation, yourself as a doctor, myself, having a business background. When it comes to us, I'm not sure about you, me saying that even to my mother, even when she was still here with us, it is something that is unthinkable. Does that is that difficult for you and your culture, your family culture?
And that's a very good question. That Asian cultures. I'm from Pakistan, and you're from Singapore, and of course over the years I've been now here in US for many years. And what has changed in the culture? When I was growing up, did we celebrate Valentine's? No. you know and absolutely, we even now they do over there a lot, but when I was growing up, we never saw Valentine's celebration. Then the question is, we have different celebrations, but we don't have where there's expression of love like this, whether it's between husband wife, whether it's between anyone. I think in Asian culture is considered more taboo type, to even
Yeah.
express those feelings. I mean, they do actually have feeling. I shouldn't say that. They have feelings, but they express it in poetic way. So you will write a
Poetic way. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
you will write a poetry about beauty of eyes, and how you interact, or when you first saw somebody. It's more romantic, and it is more absolutely full of literature. If you look at the famous these poets also from Asian, and
Mm.
they have such a great language, and also look at the poems, and so poetic expressions
Mm.
are there. I mean, famous stories about love are actually, if you know, of course, Indian history too, then Taj Mahal, those
Yeah.
of course, they are there. They always had love, but
Mm.
they would never say just for one day that this day is going
Yeah.
to be, we will express. They
Yeah.
will continuously express throughout.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so my point is they don't have a day usually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so basically they would still express everything, do what
Yeah.
is, but to have a specific day where they're going to get flowers, or they will
Yeah.
express that's not part of the
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah, and Dr. Moby, I'd like to bring this topic about love on this special occasion to put it into a context of culture,
Mhm.
to kind of like juxtapose the traditional classical way of expression versus modern or Western way of expression, and like your view on it. In a very even within my family. We show our love, like what you say, in a different way, not on a daily basis, not in a way that we articulate, I love you. For me, I would show my love through giving her the money. I would give her like a pocket money. I would give her like, money on Mother's Day, money every month. It's an expression of love, because money represents like your hard work, your blood, and your sweat. Certain culture expresses it differently. Some people give it as give it as flowers. But do you think that the articulation of it, which is such a taboo thing in a very reserved culture, whether it's from your family, my family, or even in a very modern society, the articulation of it in a way that is verbal, do you think that is something that is also meaningful, significant, or do you think that the action of it um, is important? So, what is your take on it for having this juxtaposition of cultural expression of love?
So different cultures have different expression, as you're right. Some would send money, some would just maybe cook food, maybe so food is another one, big one in
Yes.
our culture. If you have a guest, or if you have loved ones, even when they
Mm,
visit, or when they, and if you don't kind of cook a big meal, or it's like considered like they don't really care about us, or they don't love us. So I'm sure with
mm,
your mom also you had memories of uh, eating together, or she making breakfast for you, or you are
mm,
getting some gift for her,
mm,
something nice she likes. So those
mm,
like a clothes, or
mm,
so I would buy for my parents something, maybe their dress. So
mm,
sure, and for Valentine's sake, the love is not only between husband and wife; it's also between friends, and also can be with any
mm,
gender, and also can be your parents, your loved ones, your brothers, sisters, could be anyone. I mean, it is
mm,
not just it's just kind of expression of love, in my opinion. So I think, yeah, there are different forms, so our culture is probably more of eating, some exchange of money. Sure, they do. Does the amount of money matter? No. Should it
Mm.
that it has to spend this much? Not really. But
Yeah.
sometimes just visiting, sometimes talking to
Mm.
nicely, to
Mm.
uh, you know
Mm.
roses were never, that you have to give roses for sure. Not really.
Yeah.
So I think if you now roses, Valentine. I mean,
Mm.
I don't disagree. This is one way of culture. I mean, I love, in my opinion, any expression of love
Any expression.
is acceptable, and it's not only acceptable, it's actually preferred.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to, question is, if you don't express, what happens if we don't express anything,
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
um, then that's how the humans communicate,
Yes.
that we have to have some kind of expression, whether language, whether communication, whether some signs. So
Mm.
maybe looks, maybe the way you look at, and maybe with your eyes, maybe non-verbal
Mm.
communication, right? It could be non-verbal communication too, but we need
Yeah.
some kind of sign, we need some kind of communication
Yeah,
to.
and I like to challenge Dr. Moby to this the next question. Yeah, in my culture where I'm brought up, there's always this colloquial saying like, okay, in a dialect, I'm gonna translate it into English. Um, uh, when you beat a child, you show love. When you scold a child, you show love. And that's the thinking of the tiger moms and the tiger dads, even in those days and even in these days. And you've got cases whereby parents aren't able to show love, and they are not loving because they are the parent that are strict. They are the parent, and I've seen a lot of such cases. They are the parent who expects a lot from the child, like they have to get 100 marks for this subject, 100 marks for that subject, and if they don't, the child goes through a lot of kind of punishment and all this. There is a kind of love now that you look at it, and we talk about that kind of love. Now, that kind of love it still exists.
Mm,
I would say that I would call that as classical method of love, whereby the love is expressed in a different way. And of course, modern love, whereby uh, I would say that nowadays, like parents are just like giving the iPhones, the latest board games, the latest Game Boy, the latest gadgets and all this. Dr. Moby, what is your take on that tiger moms and the tiger dads who are so strict, but they also raised a generation of children who are disciplined, giving results, and then having something to show as a record at the end of the children's lives. They say, because they have been so strict. So, what's your take on these schools of thought that is really very current in the parents' talk sphere these days?
mhm. And that is a very good question. So a lot of Asian parents, they have, I call them tough love, but they would not actually, yeah, they would not spoil. So when I was growing up, our parents, basically, they were not tough love, but they would not spend a lot of money on things. So I wasn't watching TV. We were just playing amongst each other. We would not, buy expensive clothes. We would not have anything expensive. We would just focus on studies. They would say, study or work hard. So basically, those are we keep on doing because, is it? Right now I see that even here, the very successful people
Mm.
adopt that. They, all the really good families, which I know, very well affluent families, who really know how to take care of their kids. They don't please their kids with money. They don't shower money a lot. They're not going to buy them gadgets. They're not going to buy them a lot of stuff, they say, no, you have to earn that or work for it, and then you will appreciate the value of it, and then just focus on your career. And so I have still seen that, and the results are still going to be the same. When it comes to kids, it is a very delicate,
Very delicate.
yeah, yeah. I would say, show them lot of love, show them, yeah, don't, be kind to them, because that's how they learn kindness, and they learn, the expression. But tell them, no, it is wrong. You're going to do it once you have reached certain level. Okay.
Yeah, and I
So,
would like to also throw Dr. Moby this scenario because I really want your view of the world to share with all of us. Bring this forward to teacher and student relationship. And in those days, right, good teachers in those days are characterized. I mean, in my view, are characterized by teachers who are extremely strict and the parents allow them to use the cane. I mean, those is those days that I watched the old movies, and I still remember my time whereby I came from a school whereby teachers are extremely strict, and they will punish the student if the student does go anyway in terms of behavior or in terms of results that did not meet the expectation of the teacher. And then looking it on the other side of education, um, whereby we do it in the other continuum, speaking to the child, giving them as much as liberty and freedom, and respecting the child, and not trying to impose your views and your take on the child. Now, I would like to tap your mind. Number one, how do we have a meeting point, and what's the pros and cons of each, and what kind of generation of people that they have groomed? Do you think that you belong to the first or the second letter kind of teacher if you're a teacher right now?
over the years, I remember, those teachers, not the one who would, be hard, but the one who had really paid attention to our needs, or at least try to teach us. So, I have a lot of them to share, and I have a lot of respect for them. Wherever they are, they kind of, I give you example of, I mean, I actually, I'm also a pilot, okay, and I am afraid of heights, okay, and so if I go to a tall building, of course I can, but I can fly the plane, okay, and the reason is because one of the great reason is because my teacher was such an amazing person, God
Mm,
bless him. His name was Jim, and uh, I cannot believe that in my life I would have learned or gone near a plane if he was not my teacher.
mm,
Amazing person. So first day I walked to him and I said, Jim, how are you? I'm trying to learn the plane. Okay, let's go. We had a little brief. So he smiled and he said, let's go. And I said, should I go in the plane? He said, yeah, let's go. And we went there, and he did not make me feel even once that I don't know anything or I have to learn a lot, which I knew I had to.
mm,
But he said, okay, let's turn it on like you turn on your car. And I said, okay, I will do. And he said, these are things. Okay, we are going to do like this, and just focus straight. Don't keep looking up and straight. And then, so he was so gentle. It's just not even once he said, "Oh, you're dummy," or "You are doing wrong." So, and I after that we took off, and of course he was next seat, and he was just so calm, and
mm,
I said, "What, Jim? What are you supposed to do next?" And he said, "Do this, do this, do that." But he's such in control and everything. I mean, we're flying, and I looked at him. He's 55-year-old, and
mm,
of course at that time I was way younger than this. So I said, Jim, what if we gonna crash or something? He said, no, no, nothing will happen. He was so calm for his
Mm.
stand. There's
Calm teacher.
nothing that I would say to that would irritate him, or
Mm.
should. So he was in full control, And this guy had 25 years being in Air Force pilot, mechanic. He had
Mm.
a lot of experience in his belt. Question is, when teachers are real teachers, they
Mm.
don't make you feel very nervous. They encourage you.
Mm. Okay.
The human brain is very unique. Imagine when we were kids. If we fall many times, right?
Mm.
Fall many times. But if somebody said, you don't even know how to, crawl or do, that would have really hurt us. Well, it would have delayed our progression, at least mine. But because there was positivity, whenever kid falls, people say, "Oh no, no, no!" They clap. "Oh no, very nice. Keep going, keep going." Guess what they do again? And then they fall. They might fall again, or they get up and they never fall again. So I think life is like that. The
Mm.
human brain is kind of takes positivity in it to a different level, totally different level. And
I
then
would like to. Yeah.
go ahead.
I would like to bring Dr. Moby to your memory. We talked about parents' show of love in a different way, different cultures, different country. They are all different. Verbalizing it, non-verbalizing, and giving of gift, cooking of food, etc. etc. Are you able to describe one incident in your memory whereby your parent, either dad or mom, has imprinted you that that particular action showed love?
Okay. No, my mom and my parents both actually are always very positive interaction. They never actually did anything. I mean, the only thing they would be, you can tell from the mood actually that they are upset.
Tell from the
So,
move,
so I mean, from the looks of
from
my
the eyes.
yeah, that she's upset. I mean, they would
Mm,
not do anything. They worked hard. I mean, we were, in kind of average family. We had a lot of kids, brothers,
mm,
sisters, but we never had a lot of money or but we always shared. We always
mm,
shared, and we never ever thought that basically we have to have so much money or anything, because we all worked hard. I mean,
mm,
so and learned and kind of focused on the education, and that's why I have a lot of brothers sisters who are all professional, because the reason is because they all parents, especially moms, put a lot of
mm,
emphasis on our education.
mm,
My mom is a competitive person, so she would always infuse and ask us,
mm.
oh, whether you came first in the class or not. She was more oriented,
Competitive.
very competitiveness. So which is not good, which is not bad in that sense, because she didn't want us to look behind. She always has these stories that you have to keep working hard and just
Mm,
be best at what you do.
mm,
If you have difficulties in life, keep moving. So
mm,
that's what I think it was infused from day one. I was infused
mm.
imprinted in my brain that I will be doctor from the day I could understand any single word.
Wow.
So
That's a life calling.
yeah, so then you are imprinted with the positivity.
Mm,
And my mom, of course, she sacrificed all her life still. She would not buy expensive things, no brands. She's not interested at all.
yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Because she says,
Great
no,
woman.
I mean, now she can afford anything she wants, but she's not even interested in that. So those are, I think you have to be example. I'm sure you can also. They are not into, that, but they have to infuse that. So if If kid
Yeah.
sees that, any kid sees that, they automatically get that message that you have to basically live with that, or at least have those principles in life, right?
Yeah. I do like to bring you to love within the marriage, a season kind of love. You know, it's such a challenge in the last conversation we had. It's such a challenge for people to be in these pandemic times to be locked down on prolonged period for relationships, whatever is it, children with parents, getting on your nerves, husband and wives getting on their nerves of each other. I just want Dr. Movi, what's your take? Someone has been married for like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and like your parents probably 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, I mean, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, in those movies that we watch, of course, the beautiful thing is that we still see old folks and old couples in their old age, with white hair, wrinkles on their faces. They're still holding hands, walking in the park, and of course juxtapose that with relationships that are has gone cold, which has gone cold and hard. Do you have any tips on reviving seasoned relationships, and any tips in sustaining them?
Hmm. Personally, I think we should basically look at how the basic principles are changed or forgotten. So remember those. If you are honest with each other, any relationship can be revived. Anything, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a lover, whether it is husband wife, first principle is always be honest. It doesn't
Be honest.
matter if you did a mistake or
Mm,
not. That's not the key. Nobody is
mm,
perfect, right? Honesty is not equivalent to
okay.
perfection. Okay.
Mm,
So, but if you did, but if you if my wife gets upset, sure, if she tells me 10 things and I do 4, then of course she will be upset. That's normal. But I know that I'm sorry, I couldn't do it, right? Or just I don't give kind of same excuses. So, which is maybe the true excuse why I couldn't do it, or maybe I didn't have time. Or
mm,
so, in my opinion, that is the most core principle for any relationship is the honesty. That is its problem. Is if you're not honest about that, then there's no relationship, in my opinion, because then there you can't even trust anything,
yeah,
so but can you still live and hope that somebody will become honest?
mm,
I hope. I'm a positive person, but I don't know,
mm.
you know but you have to work for it.
Work for it. Yes.
Relationships, like anything, is not automatic. It
Yeah.
is, we have to work on it.
Yeah.
The second is make sure forgive. Okay, forget it.
Forgive.
Yeah, forgiveness is very important, because first of all, everyone is human. If I don't forgive XYZ, then maybe I will be doing mistake too. That person will
Mm,
not
mm,
forgive me either, right? So if you, in my opinion, if you forgive something, you actually release yourself from the
mm.
negativity. Not that you are helping other, actually you're helping yourself,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you, in your heart or in your brain, you're stuck somewhere. You are stuck there.
Mm,
When we are angry on someone, we are actually stuck ourselves.
yeah.
I don't think it happens to other person. I mean, other person might not care at all, or might
Mm,
care, but we are stuck emotionally and draining so much energy. That
mm,
thinking again and again and again, why did this person do that? Why,
mm. Yeah.
how, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that
Yeah.
is kind of, and a lot of heart problems and other issues happen to our body, physical and emotional torture. when we are doing the negative energy. So I would
I want to,
say,
yeah,
Mhm.
sorry, Dr. Moby, I would like to ask you, like, in your daily life, in maintaining a relationship, is there anything that you do in actionable steps um, on a lifestyle level, on a daily level, on a lifestyle level, that you actually take an extra conscious step to do in order to maintain the freshness of a relationship? Is it something that is hard if it goes throughout the years, the first 10 years, the second 10 years, and then the third 10 years?
I don't think I ever looked at that how many years have passed except for our anniversary we know. But I think it feels like we met yesterday and just in the same kind of frequency and same kind of thought processing started, and you continue with that. And I would always say that with the only thing is make sure you have time available for each other. I am guilty that, of course, I get carried away busy a lot many
Mm,
times. But I try to kind of find time. It could be a few minutes in a day
mm,
where I want to make sure, even whether you say I love you, that is great, but you want to find out how the other person is doing, if he needs your help, or how the day is going by. Those are
mm,
simple things. I mean,
yeah,
yes, there was time when we would meet at lunch and also, talk. And
mm,
but now, life gets busier, and with COVID,
yeah,
nobody goes out for lunch anyway. And then, but I think you can still check on each other. And my wife is also a physician. I mean, many times she's busy, and we still kind of communicate and say everything is going
communication,
fine. I think it's just checking
expression.
that in my opinion kind of checks, make sure anybody, first of all, it kind of reassures me that the other person is doing well.
Mm,
And
yeah.
then, so I think, to me, that's how we believe or keep on doing. And I think, if you are continue to, and for me, it's very important that the other person is like your friend, or you could pretty much share anything you want, and you can say anything. So those are important things, that
Yeah.
you have a trust and faith in each other.
Trust and faith. I would like to uh, challenge Dr. Moby to two real life cases.
Mhm.
Now, I've got a girlfriend. I'm going to relate without names, of course. I've got a girlfriend that I mean, they're at an age of whereby the career building has taken their time. The life choices, the priorities of life for women has taken a big part of their lives. And when the time comes to they have to get married,
Mhm.
it's suddenly like there's no one there, which is true. Sometimes you just can't find anyone there. And these are real life stories. And when you do meet someone, right? Number one, you've really lost a lot of time before that because it wasn't part of your priority. You think that your education has brought you to this forefront of the world. It's right for you to pay it forward, to work, and then to bring back the money to build up the family. It's so much in that very Asian context to bring back the money home, right? So a lot of people work in the millennium. A lot of women start working very hard, but after some time they find that hey, they've lost a lot of years behind that, and suddenly no one is there ready for their next life, and because time is lost,
Mhm.
and when they meet someone who possibly of a marriageable material, we call it here,
Mhm.
you want to kind of like either invest more time in it, which is going to take much more time from a woman's point of view,
Mhm.
or you can give yourself that 90-day window. which is now a lot of shows are like the 90 Day Fiance, which is very true. Of course, in the movies they made it so dramatic, through the internet. But in real life, people have this time frame. I'm going to meet this person and invest in just this window of time frame. If it doesn't work, I'm going to move on. So we are being pressed in such contrary position. You lost time, and yet when something comes up, you think you want to work on it. Yet if you work on it more, you maybe you're gonna miss out Mr. Right, then you're gonna miss out Mr. Not Right. It's always that kind of opportunity cost for women. I mean, even for men. This 90-day or X number of day scenario applies to a girlfriend, which is true, and she actually gave 90-day window. To be right, it's actually 99 days, because she said that on the 100th day, you and I, mean a man and a woman, should come together to make a decision. Should we or should we not go to the next more serious stage? Then we get married in the next 100 days. It does happen in a fast-paced society where things are constantly changing. Now, and then I've got another real case whereby these kind of 90-day windows did not work out. Of course, the first case, that worked out because on the 99th day, they decided, yes, we're going to invest into something serious, and then they got married. And it happened just recent in a modern society in Singapore. And of course, juxtapose it with someone who's always looking out, 90 days, 90 days, 90 days. Because it didn't work out, I'm not going to invest in it. I'm going to look out for someone. Because these are real issues of life. We are being pressed for time because we're compressed in this twilight zone. Work, career, we don't have even time enough for ourselves. And of course, for women, there is also this thing called, the biological clock, etc. So from a man's point of view, Dr. Modi, what's your view of this? What's your comment? I mean, I can't even give you a broad question. Like looking at these two cases, success case versus one that is never been successful. What's your advice if you are a friend of either of these cases?
Those are real stories.
Real.
Are actually practical stories. I would say that's true. A lot of, in around me also, I am seeing a lot of these now. There was a time then it was considered maybe few cases, but now we see it every day with changing environment, how we operate and how we do things, how we have relationship. Now the marriage as an institution is going down in terms of the percentages people who are married, okay, with either sex. So that has gone down. People are living unmarried, or they are living single, or they are, question is whether we should have a time frame. Then what happens to if somebody is not lucky in that time frame?
Yeah, not lucky.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is, it is, they could be, they need more time. So question, I would always say that, society has these, or there could be internal pressure from the parents, or could be from the family. Especially, I have seen a lot of with on our culture, Asian cultures, so they keep preaching for especially for female, but now they are also doing for male, but females for sure, that, oh, your age is going to be this and that. So, but for females, I think things have changed. Now they are more career oriented, and they want a career, and they want to have a life, and then they want to decide about partner. They can meet somebody at that time. I think, first of all, I would say there's nothing wrong with anyone either way, in my opinion. Okay. So, because the reason is, take care of your health first, take care of yourself, your priorities has to be is important. Is you if your priority is to get married and just have life, by all means pursue that. If your priority is have a job, have a stable income and everything, have a career, by all means do that. Can
Mm.
you mix them together? Sure, you can try. And when we try things, we can be successful or not so successful. Should we have a time frame? I would not. Yes, I understand there's a biological clock running and all that situation, but nowadays we have technology far advanced than that. People have, they've frozen their, sperms or eggs, and then hoping that if they ever get with any relationship, and
Mm.
that they might try that.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Mm.
But bottom line is, you need to be happy. You need to first find what is your happiness lies in. Is your
Yeah.
happiness lying in
Mm.
relationship? Pursue that.
Mm.
If you
Mm.
so, I think most people are they do wrong, or they are unsure what they want. So, but they are going
I'm
with it.
sure. Yes.
I mean, once you are
Yes.
sure what you want,
Yeah.
then I am pretty sure you will. First of all, you answer yourself what you want, and if you can
Mm.
get that answer right,
Mm.
there will always be somebody who is there, and maybe you never looked at left or right, and then maybe you never thought that was a perfect person. Okay, but that's fine. But the question is, should you so in my opinion, start with yourself first, identify yourself, see
Mm.
what your priorities are, stick with those, and what makes you happy. So what makes you happy, do that first, and then look for, can you
Yeah.
find someone. Absolutely, my belief is always that there's always someone there for you. What time you meet, it can matter. It can differ. Me and my wife, we didn't meet till late. So it's
Mm.
it's not. I think they used to just. Her friend used to always push her. Oh, your age is getting older and blah blah blah. But it doesn't matter because if you are going to meet someone, and you will find all. Have faith. In my opinion, I would say have faith, but take care of yourself. There's no relationship or nothing, even friends. Let's say forget about love. Let's say if I give you a challenge to find a friend, any friend, in 90 days, real friend, you cannot find.
Right.
And the other person we are trying to do is 90 days, rest of your life you want to spend with that person.
Mm.
What a big
Mm.
decision you have to take.
Yeah.
Best is, I'm sure you have, any person has a lot of friends, so those, but we don't time them. We never have, I've never timed any of my friends. Yes, I can talk to anyone in 90 days. Yes, I don't know whether they'll be my friend for long, but same thing, I think. So we have to be realistic a little bit about that. My
Yeah. Dr. Moby, I'm going to give you another a real case, a real question, bringing you from philosophy point of view to this particular scenario, right? If you are if you are single at your age right now, and you have to go on a date.
hmm
Um, I'm going to throw you this scenario. Um, you go on the website, going to meet someone in one of these technology apps to meet someone. So my question to you is, you meet a very attractive lady. That's the first thing that attracts the mind. And of course, the sign says that the eyes are the first thing that attracts, right? You're going to see someone, a very attractive lady, and you go on a date. And you kind of like feel that, hey, wow, she's beautiful, she's good, and she's hot, and she can really talk, and she's got all my characteristics. But I'm going to ask you, Dr. Moby, to be the honest part of your heart. And if she's so beautiful, she's like meeting all your criteria, to be to have a serious relationship. Two questions. If other men start looking at her, right? What's your reaction? What's in your mind? You know, she's going out for dinner, etc. And if you feel that she is of your wife material, we're talking about real life now. Does it put you backwards because she is of you know, she's got the full package and she's attractive and she's attracting other people's attention. Now these two questions, they are real. And what do you do if you are a single man out there now and you are looking for someone who is what I've described? Is it a struggle or is it a natural selection?
Okay, so your question is, would that attract us? Would that kind of complete our relationship, or make a deal, or make our final decision? So, what your question is? If somebody is attractive and we
Other
are
men
on
are
a date,
looking.
yeah, and would that convince me to make up, and other men are looking, would that help me or in a way hurt me to make a decision, right? If that's your question. you know Personally, I think, that's my opinion, beauty is in the eye of beholder. So it is not, everybody's criteria is different. There are turn on one, someone turn off one. I agree with that part, that men are more looking, and that, but the criteria is totally different. Nobody looks, in my opinion, nobody looks at a book picture or perfect picture. No one is perfect, actually. So, yeah, in my opinion, I think it's a chemistry. It is how they interact, and I think there's a verbal message, and then there is a non-verbal message. So there is so if, yes, the look can be great, and people, it might find the first kind of criteria, but as soon as that person talks and then sits for few minutes, you get the idea is going to last longer now. Because, I mean, lot of people are very attractive and people look at them, but do you make them your partner? Not really. Sad but true. Um, I think it comes down to when they start talking, when they start interacting, then your brain reads, yes, meets the first criteria, but then guess what? To continue any relationship, you need a lot of things to kind of attract you. Yes, can you be in love with first sight and be spend rest of your life on that kind of image only? I mean, you can, but the problem is that with age, with time, things change. Things change, and that might not be as attractive as you think. It could change in next year or 2 years from there, and that person might, be not. So I think, for me, and relationships are kind of little more on, has to be on more solid ground. Can you have few days relationship short term? Sure, those are, in my opinion, chemistry for short term, not for long term. For
Chemistry
long
short
term,
term.
yeah. Remember, there is, I always say that, you have to look at exactly what kind of things you want. If you are looking for marriage, if you're looking
Yeah.
for stability, remember, there was a time when people used to say, if you want to find a good girl, go to church. Remember that? Remember that? So,
Yeah. Go to the
so then,
temple, go to the church, go to
yeah,
the
yeah,
mosque. Look for a good
yeah,
girl.
go to church, go to mosque, go to. Reason was that very simple. If you really want to find somebody good, if you want to have a good time, go to bar. Sure, you know.
Mm,
So the question
exactly.
is, I always say, it is like the model, because whatever we create or whatever we entice other, we find the same kind of answers.
The same
So
kind.
yeah, so if we go to bars, we are going to find that kind of personalities. There is nothing to do with bars. People, there are good people there too. What I'm saying is they're looking for doing different things. If you meet somebody in church or mosque or temple, they have kind of
Mm.
different set of rules. So that's, in my opinion, that depends on what are you looking for, or what are you